should be pumping a little more bass. It is. That's the church My friend, Mr. Brad Gibson on the drums. One of the tastiest in Seattle. I have a copy over here. I'm just looking to grab. Is that yours?
One of them, actually. Yeah. Yours is right there.
Oh, thank you
the
very
lid.
much.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm Joe Doria. I play organ around town. I'm a little crazy because we haul this full 500-pound instrument around gigs in a van. It's kind of an insane choice.
What kind of van?
Minivans. You can find a minivan, get a minivan. You don't want a big one because you have to lift up.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. This is a 1957 C3. the 3 Series models were made famous by Jimmy Smith on up to the rock greats and Larry Goldings of today, great players. But these 3 Series models, the B3, the A100, the C3, they all have the same guts, all the stuff inside. It's the wood that separates the models from each other. And this was made by Lawrence Hammond. He was an inventor. He started out making clocks and little, I believe, 3D glasses. I think that's right. And he made the automatic dealing card table. I'm sure it lasted about a month before that thing would stop. But what lasts forever is his next invention, the Hammond B3. He made a organ that can still be repaired today. It can go on forever. Can't say the same about keyboards and all these things we have today. So we try and retain and we try and keep them around. Some people like to chop them up, bang them up and ruin them, but they're not being made anymore. So if you see one, grab one, save one. This is a C3 model, so it was the modesty panels right here, so you can see the organist legs, a little bit too risque. And then the B3 has the open legs. You can see the feet working. If you go online, you'll search B3 model Hammond, and you'll see the open legs. Kind of a cool look. They go for like double the price just because of the open look. And Don Leslie wanted to make a better speaker than what Hammond made was the PR40 speaker right over there, which I love. It actually sounds beautiful. But he made a Leslie speaker that was going to simulate the pipes of a church, the sound moving through a large cathedral or church. So, and this one's on stop right now, but if I put it on, if I plug in these motors, you'll see that these will go in a slow chorale, and it'll give you that swirling sweep that you kind of hear from the church pipe organs. Kind of close to simulating it, but not perfectly. But what ended up happening is jazz players got a hold of it, blues players got a hold of it, and rock and roll organists and keyboardists got a hold of it, and they found this was it. That you had to have this with this organ. So Don Leslie's product mixed with Lawrence Hammond, who did not like Don at all. He didn't like him making a better. Sure. Yeah. But here we are today, and this is when you buy an organ, you get a Leslie with it, pretty much. Okay? So you're hauling not only this, but this. Yeah. And then the bench, and then the pedals, which are 2 octaves fanned out. Just looks like a keyboard from C to C up top, 2 octaves. And they're kind of fanned out for your foot to tap on. Let me not put that on lid. And when we play the pedals, I went to Prosser, my first lesson at Prosser. And Merv, might still be there. Ooh, I love Merv. Jeez, anyways, he said that. You know how to play the pedals? I said, no, not at all. And he says, let's start with the rule of you want your toes on the black notes. Right. And your heels are going to be touching all the white keys, just like on a. You start working a little bit. Your foot starts to feel the intervals. Makes it with a lower manual. You can have a bass down here with your feet. Soft with it, you don't have to get loud. Get real soft. You got some fun with the drawbars about how you work the drawbars. This is your expression. Get Thank you, Brad. So look at some sound. All your dynamics are in your control of the organ. It's no longer like a piano where the harder you hit it, the softer you hit it. Doesn't matter how hard you hit it. It's all in your volume, swell pedal down below, and your drawbar settings. So you're constantly adjusting the tone to get your expression level out. That kind of tone. Let's do a sound that was made famous on the organ, the squabble. And it's more like the claw. We're going to play the melody on these two fingers here. And whatever happens in the middle happens. It's all right. I'm not worried about it. Just a claw. Here's what's happening in the middle. That's the squabble technique made on the Hammond organ. Okay, so this instrument is still being played today. It's a glue instrument. It started out, the jazzers got a hold of it. Then the funk bands, the soul bands got a hold of it, the rock and rollers. It fits into all these genres. Classical, to a degree, you see it being used, but not as often as the genres in it. But it's the one instrument that makes everybody in the band come together. It's that fills just the right amount of spaces, doesn't overpower. It can overpower if you want to, but it's very much a glue instrument, and I love. That's why I fell in love with it. You get to play all these styles with all these incredible players. The instrument brought that forth, pretty much. Does anybody have any questions about this thing at all? Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen pianists play like rock chords very legato, and I asked one of them, he said, go to YouTube and look up organ fingering. Is there, can you say anything about
Well,
that?
it's very similar to piano. We keep our thumbs off the sharps and flats, and
So you don't do anything funky crossing over things that you wouldn't typically do on a piano?
well, when we're doing this, a lot of grace notes on the organ. It's very much very light playing. You keep your hand flat. The fingerings are the same. They can vary, whatever gets you to from A to point B. But there is, knowing your fingerings for your scales, your chords, and all your inversions of. Because when you're playing the organ, you tend to stay on those notes, not lift them off the piano, right? So nothing really
So you
changes.
don't have a sustain pedal like you do.
Exactly.
So you lift it up, it's dead.
You have to create all the dynamics and the emotion you want via the volume and the drawbars, pretty much. But you're holding down these notes. Okay, so it's not as easy to maintain these now, but these instruments can be repaired. They can be saved. If you see one beat up, it can be fixed. They all can be fixed. Same can't be said, I was saying earlier, about keyboards today. Once they go, they usually, you're buying a new keyboard, kind of a throwaway route of doing it. They're getting close with the clones of these. They're way lighter, and they make a lot more sense. But I still, if I can, I'll haul the real deal out. But you're looking at buying tubes. you're looking at learning soldering real quick, because once you get your first bill from a tech, it's astronomical. So you become, understandably, they have to come from A to B, but all their gear, fix your stuff. Hopefully have all the stuff to fix the organ. So it would behoove you, anybody pick up a Hammond, anybody here play and have one? Have you maintained it yourself?
It wasn't working when I got it, and I've been restoring it.
All right, good for you. You're learning online, probably in one of the groups.
It's a 47 Hammond CE.
Oh, it's beautiful, right on.
It's incredible as a part of American history.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. You got a Leslie with it too and all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, as you know, you're looking at buying tubes and deoxit cleaners, stuff like that. So it's not crazy expensive, but it's enough to make you sit around hunting for these parts, which thankfully exist. People are making them or keeping the old stock in stock.
Hey Joe, when you were with Merv at Prosser, he's like, let's get started with the foot pedals. What did he have you do?
He had me look for, the first thing we do when we're learning, we're looking down, doing this, trying to play, he says, you can't really do that, you're gonna learn that.
Yeah,
And when you go to play with people, you're gonna be hurting yourself, basically. Right?
Yeah.
So we look straight ahead and we feel the intervals.
That's a good one.
Do you 2 5s? Right? And we're always looking ahead, looking at my drummer. And we're always looking ahead. And we don't worry about, we focus on time first. We don't drop beats just to make a bass note. I understand we all want to, right? But don't.
Yeah.
Skip it and move on. Just like everything in music, right? But when I'm looking ahead, just feeling all these intervals.
And I can't see you. Are you still doing heel toe?
Heel toe, yeah.
Okay.
I got, I should say it again. The heels are hitting the white notes of a fan octave keyboard. I have a photo of one, but 2 octaves of C to C, and on the sharps or flats, those get the black notes. That's not a hard rule. Just try and adhere to that, and you're going to be able to flow a little better, right?
So like you said that no matter how you press on the key, right? It's like just the volume.
Yeah. No matter how hard or light you press that key, it's all about your volume, your swell pedal, this gas pedal right below me. We can't see it, but. You want to get soft. You also have some switches. You can hit, you come down.
Is it like the same control, just like you can override it with your foot and your hand?
No, this is even, it goes even softer. Like if we're in a church and we want to keep it real. Keep it on that. But normally that's normal volume. Here's the lowest for normal. There's the lowest for the soft switch. And when you're hearing them rock, they soup them up. They come out of a Marshall amp sometimes instead of a Leslie, and it's really gritty rock and roll tone. I'll make a video of that one day. We'll hook it up to some amplifiers and see how rocking we can get.
The other thing I see people do with the pedals is the tapping.
Yes.
Can you kind of tell everybody or explain what that is?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
They call it the thud. Jimmy Smith did it when he was rocking pretty fast tempos, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't always hit every bass note. So he just kind of get his foot going. It's called the thud. And all you're getting is that pop. Your left hand's going to take care of it. You could hit any note you want. It's a thud. You're getting it on and off. We're going to get a little more bass out of that one day, but yeah. That's a thud. And sometimes when you're playing a ballad now, you do want to focus on having your foot doing most of the bass. So you're going to get a different sound down below. Oh, I should describe this. I'm so sorry. We have 4 sets of drawbars. I wish we had a way of seeing it. But there's 4 sets of 9 drawbars each. You get 2 for the upper manual. That would be this left side. And it works on the overtone series. Yeah, and the same for the B preset. You get this set of drawbars plus percussion. I'll just play percussion now. And then that adds to your second set of drawbars. Turn it off. Okay, you can change your percussion tone from soft to a little more bite. And the decay of it. It's a little bit slower. Larry Goldings loves a slow setting. And then you got the change from third to second, which is the 9th in sound. Same keys being hit. Yeah, I'll put it with the drawbars. Speaking of Larry Goldings, let's use some of that. Slow. Flat. This one's just flat. Brad Gibson. I'll stop there. I want to play hours with this man. So, I love this thing. So if you pick one up and you see one, save one, okay? And any other questions about this thing out there, maybe?
When you're like adjusting the tone with the drawbars, what are you thinking about? Like, what type of, like, do you find yourself using some like more often than others, or like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah. There's this one, the bottom. There's 9
Yeah.
in the series. Overtone. But the bottom 3 were made famous by Jimmy Smith and kept famous by all the players. That was pretty standard. The rock guys would add the 4th up, all that coming out of a Marshall stack and give it even grittier tone. Jazz, rock, just one drop off. But depends on the speaker you're coming out of. But you know, when it gets soft, keep it soft. You're gonna pull one drop bar out, maybe add a whistle at the top. I think of it in terms of low end, mid range, high end. That's pretty much what's going on. You got the low with the bottom drop bar. Third up. Just the 4th. On mid-range, get that whistle up top. Add that mid-range. Get the lows. It's also got a waterfall key bed, meaning the edges can come over and dip down nice and soft so your palm. All these swipes without cutting yourself up. If you got a keyboard, it'd be pretty tough. You have to keep it flat. Worry a little bit. But the waterfall key bed keeps your hands free to do all these swiping. Swipe from chord to chord. Mid-range. Got a low Got low only. Maybe a little whistle up top. Back to the mid-range. Yeah, so the drawbars are very important with sculpting your tone. It all happens.
Big part of the game, man. Big part of the game.
Big part of the game.
The other thing is you're kicking on and off that Leslie often.
Yeah, I gotta have it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good.
I watch some of the gospel guys. I'm
Sure.
not some of these gospel players. You gotta go watch them. Go to church. We should all get our questions. And go watch them. They're just phenomenal. They're running the whole show basically, and a lot of that. But that same kind of vibe. They're holding notes.
Yeah,
Changing drawbars all the time.
Yeah.
We're watching the pastor.
A lot of adjustments.
A lot of adjustments all the time.
Yeah, and so that's when he's kicking the left hand goes down to turn the speed up on the Leslie.
Yeah.
Right? And so we can see it here, and it's like the rotor starts going, and then it turns off a second later. Like you're trying to capture the speed up.
Yeah, I like that ramp up and down. So
Yeah.
It gives you the.
Yeah, more than just like the on.
Yes.
You know, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes. So I hope that answers some of the drawbar questions. It basically low end, mid range, high end. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Are there things that people, when they start messing around with drawbars, are there things they should watch out for? Like, you know.
There's nothing wrong.
Okay.
There's
yeah.
You're gonna find
You're
out.
gonna make anybody go deaf?
Yes, you will make
The drummer will.
The drummer will go deaf.
They don't want to be near you.
Yeah.
They don't. But yeah, if you pull them all out, it gets pretty loud. Keep it soft, you know. You got the volume pedal. You got control of your drawbars.
Do you always have like the fundamental frequency like pulled or?
I don't always, but
Okay.
when you got your fifths apart,
Yeah.
fourth apart, it's gonna be tough when you're in the key sometimes. It's not bad sound, it's just got a cool sound. That's just one of the fundamentals, a non-fundamental. The 5.5, I believe. But you add the fundamental, it starts to make sense. You had a question earlier?
Yeah, how does one go about becoming an organ player? Like, how did you learn how to play the organ? Did you start as a pianist?
I went to Prosser,
Uh-huh.
and I knew I was trying to simulate it on a keyboard.
Was that
sampler.
before Cornish?
Right as I was getting out of Cornish,
Okay.
last year of Cornish. So I would have a sampler, and I was like, God, I love using this sound. And it was Joe DiFrancesco's organ sample. I didn't know anything about it at the time. And a buddy, John Lee, goes, hey, come on over here. I'm going to show you a 1959. That's what that is, basically. And then I played it for the first time, and I was, wow. I just immediately was in love with it. I wasn't playing it well at all, but I loved the whole tone. And then I hopped in, had a good time. It was like 1900 with a Leslie, beautiful C3, maybe not as clean as this, but there, very nice. And slowly and correctly practice how, everything with the foot pedals. I'm looking ahead, very slow, but everything was correct. Very, very deliberate, right? Everything you do. Take it slow and right, and then pretty soon you play with a fine drummer, play with a metronome, and you're gonna get it all together.
Joe, I got a question, or maybe piggybacking off of that. You have, I played with Joe for a long time. It was my teacher who introduced me to you years ago. They were doing a Hammond duo. But to your question, you are one of the more informed people in town in terms of listening. Like, your knowledge of repertoire just, you take in so much. So related to how does one become an organist, were you bringing
Ooh, I like
piano
that.
material, were you bringing scale modes, arpeggios, or were you bringing in, just like listening and just copying it on the?
Definitely our jazz standards we were all learning. I started out as a piano player, and I was learning jazz. Not that we were ever going to learn it forever, but we'll be learning it until the day we die. But I applied it to the organ, and again, slow and correct. But to his point, he's right. I would dabble in any kind of music, any and every. And my friend, I believe you're speaking to John Whitson, am I right about
Yeah.
that? He was the guy who taught me, man, you got to play everything. Not just jazz. Don't just be focused on jazz only. And he's right, because it applies to the organ especially.
Well, sorry, and yeah, I remember you guys were doing Bjork's Hyper Ballad,
Yes.
like in the early 2000s.
Yes.
So you were always into other stuff.
Bjork is so good. He introduced me to the sound of Bjork. I'm like, oh my God, it's my favorite.
Can students learn how to clone?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Yes, again, you only need one set of drawbars to
Mhm.
know how to operate them.
Yeah.
Of course, having four is nice. You got to be able to learn how to adjust them. But yeah, the clones, they sound good. They're lighter.
Some of them have Leslie outs.
Some of them have Leslie out. Unfortunately, sorry. Buying a lessons. But yeah, you can definitely learn how to clone. And they have systems where it's just this and not the foot pedals. You can add them later.
Yeah, clone is a digital organ, keyboard version of organ.
Yeah, it's today's version of let's make some sense. We're all thinking instrument around here.
Yeah.
What about VSTs and beta banks?
I think they're doing great with VSTs. I like the B3X, XB3 or no B3X. It's made by Hammond or IK Multimedia. Sounds really good. I'm impressed with the VSTs. They sound. Of course, you're tied to a computer now. You can bring a computer out. It kind of can scare you, especially on some of the gigs I do. It's not the wisest thing to bring to a bar. But yeah, they sound great.
Can you, let's say this, can you, in theory, can you do effects? Like this is an analog signal out, right? Like, can you I was thinking like
Can you add effects?
Yeah, like guitar pedals set up to that.
Yes, you can. In line, you would be modding the preamp in and out, and modded on the preamp itself and come out, and then come into any effect you like. I have one at home that I do the same thing with. And it comes out of the Leslie that way. You can have it coming out separately out of another speaker too. That would be even easier.
So the keyboard part is just the electric signal, right?
It's a well, the tones are made via wheels that are spinning, and a magnet with a pickup will point at the edge of 96 tone loops. That's how it's getting its signed tone.
So I meant like the magnets. That's in the speaker, right? There's no.
Well, there's magnets on the speakers on the bottom. And every speaker has a big magnet on the bottom of the guitar. But there's a magnet, a pickup coil pointing at the very edge of the wheel. And the more round and wide the teeth are, the lower the tone. The sharper the teeth get, and more pointed, you're going to get your higher tones. Okay, that's how it works. They're carved just right, and it runs at the hertz of power. So we've got 60 cycle here for this. If you were to play this in Europe, it'd be 50. So it's going to be out of tune if you brought an American Hammond down here.
Wow, really?
Runs directly off the.
Not that you're gonna fly with them.
Nobody is going to make that mistake. I don't.
Did they sell them in Europe?
They did. They at a period of time they were shipping them over there, but there's not a heck of a lot over there,
Yeah.
and they want them badly. So
Yeah.
Japan loves buying them. Germany. Yeah, there's just not a heck of a lot of them around. There's not even a lot around here. I'm glad you have them, sir. They're beautiful.
When you were starting, who were you listening to the most?
Jimmy Smith was the guy because he had 98 albums alone, saving Blue
Wow.
Note. Yeah, It's
Well,
pretty.
pre-streaming, so you had to like, it was, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're right. You had to own all this stuff.
Yeah.
That beautiful cover art.
Right.
Some of them. So Jimmy Smith, and then that led me to Jimmy McGriff, kind of a bitier, funkier tone. He can get his fingers off really well. Groove Holmes kind of had that greasy. And he'd use the vibrato. Let's get a little Jimmy McGriff. Let's see. Now you got to picture the organs really modern and nasty, really biting. Turn it off and give you that sermon sound. 20-minute blues, pretty much, with Lee Morgan just killing it. And he went on close the list, you like that dead stop sound. There's that fuzz. Jimmy knew how to play a ballad. I'm going to try and do it for you, but I don't know if I can. Right hand would be playing the hold that top note. MP3 today.
Wow, yeah.
Everything we're doing is basically because when he started.
So when you started out, is that what's playing three-way? When you, or were you playing the melody with your left hand?
Yes,
top,
yes.
On the top?
I haven't heard it called three-way, but I bet you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
I think that I've just heard that.
I think you're right, yes. I think
Like
that's right.
Barbara Dennerlin or something would do that.
Three-way, yeah.
Yeah,
Foot's got the bass, left
Yeah.
hand's now chording, right hand's chording.
right.
A little bit easier. But the left hand melody, very
Yeah.
tough. You gotta
Yeah,
know
yeah.
everything.
That's a big flex.
It's a big
Yeah.
flex.
That's a big flex.
Any other questions?
Yeah. So what would you say is the best way to practice improvising in your right hand while walking a bass line in the left hand?
Okay, so we have to know our tune, right? We have to know our chords.
Right.
We have to be in time, stay in time, and do it slow enough where you're not losing time.
Okay.
Time is the focus, and then we'll practice all these things we learn with our right hand. Oh, my pentatonic scale. Oh, my diminished. Right. Your chord tone outline. Arpeggiations, all that, but in time. It could be, let's do what's normally a fast tune, but very slow. Not very good. Still very fast. Just practicing all my scales, everything I've learned from our teachers, we're studying here with, right? But time is the most important thing. Time is the most important thing. We don't give up the bass. Bass first, your chords first. Your scales are going to be there as long as you sit there and practice. Again, we got our foot to cover us. We can do both. So at a time, we can practice. Then do everything in every key, of course. That's what our goal would be. We're practicing our intervals with our foot. We're practicing making our tones. In fact, let's play a Beatles tune. I kind of beat three eyes. All the dynamics in my sound. My volume. Now, the one thing we learned, we practice piano, right, often. You gotta wait. You've learned how a piano feels, and then you jump over to something like this, and it's like, oh no, this is gonna kill my piano playing. Or vice versa, right? So you gotta practice both. And I love piano. I'm sure you do too, so.
Some days.
Yeah. Is there anything from learning organ that you've taken back to your piano playing? Like, are there any
Yes.
cool voicings
Yes,
or anything?
it's the bass, having to handle the bass. I've learned
Yeah.
that, oh, we can take tunes on the fly,
Yeah.
anywhere I want. I'm
Yeah.
your bassist now.
Right.
So going where I want. The
Yeah,
bass,
yeah, yeah.
The bass tells the story to every.
Yeah,
And bass and notes, excuse me.
yeah.
But that's what I've learned. But yeah, you come up with different clusters. of-
Yeah, different stuff that works. Yeah, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
I wrote a really wacky, dark tune based on those clusters.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
All right. Any other questions? Yeah.
I saw that you played like a duo B3 gig with Brad recently.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you'd like speak to that a little bit about how that changes how you play. Like, does that change? Like, you guys obviously must take turns with the bass.
Yeah. Well, okay. For this one, good question. First of all, Brian Charette was just here. He's one of the best, I think, in the world today. He's high. Even Joey DiFrancesco, who passed not too long ago, was asking him to be in the band. The guy is amazing. So it was very nice having him. Playing with a player like that, he knows the organ so well that he knows when to be present, when to come forward, and when to sit back. With his tunes, I said, please, you handle the bass. I'm not going to pretend to know your bass better. And then when we did some big tough tunes, I would take over the bass, free him up to go crazy. But he's just that good. He's that seasoned. He's so used to the organ that he knows when to not play and when to lay back. And hopefully, I was doing the same thing with him as well. So, and otherwise, it's a nightmare of just too much organ. And the drummer wants to get the heck out of it.
Well, I got a ton of questions, so I got another one.
Yeah.
So why it seems to me, and it's as far as I can tell, organ music is very fun. Like, why is the Hammond B3 music and repertoire like so fun and so groovy and like such a kind of happy vibe?
Well, you got a lot of that blues grace note happening.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but like he was saying earlier, you can adapt any tune, any pop tune.
Sure. It's like nothing is
60s hits,
safe.
rock
Yeah,
and-
like all the pop tunes sound great. On
That's
the
right.
organ,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Well,
on the piano, it's like maybe cheesy or something, but it's like all works with them.
Yes.
B3.
Yes, yeah. It's just that odd analog sound that coming out of these compression drivers.
It's very fun.
It sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you if you could play a pop tune.
Yeah. Why not? Now the answer to his question, why is it so fun? We can have fun. Dominic Gordon. Get pretty. What's not fun about that? We do a lot of cocktails. Some not so good. But we do them anyways. Any other questions out there?
The silly one, but have you ever played at a baseball game?
No, but people have asked me, have you ever played? They always ask me all the time. And they say, we gotta get you up there. No, I know somebody. There's no way of getting this up.
Yeah.
Right now, they just push a button and they got
Yeah.
it. Those days are gone.
I think Wrigley, they still have a guy.
They do.
It's like it's a theater organ though.
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah, I think it's like a big, it's a little different, but that's pretty cool.
See how cool they are over there? They're holding on.
They're
Like
holding
it.
on. Cool. Well, does anybody have any other questions? So they've been playing for a little bit over an hour, and so maybe you guys can play one more tune, and then maybe if anybody wants to just kind of check out the organ,
Yeah, that would
try
be
it out,
great.
that'll be
I'd love for
cool.
you guys
So
to
we
touch
can, you guys can kind of
Don't say those words.
take a look. So.
What would you like to play? Sure.
Man, I got nothing.
We're gonna do a tune, a McTuff tune. I have a band out there known as McTuff, MCTUFF. Don't ask me why, how. Except it was born through a ode to Jack McDuff, is one of my favorites. Because of his intricate horn lines that he's writing over. He's a great writer. Let's do, how about this one? It's called Paper's Island.
Yeah, very great. We can come check it out. So yeah.
Being a little bit, not admitting you're telling me this, but
Yeah.
if you want to listen to him for hours, like
Yes.
I do,
Yes.
you can come to the Sea Monster on
Oh,
Tuesday
yeah.
nights.
Every Tuesday, if you guys are up late, and I hope you are, I start at 10 p.m. every Tuesday. I've been doing it for what they call too long.
Yeah.
Come see me before I go end that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, cool. Well, does anybody want to get up and check it out? You should go check it out. You were asking about drop.
Yeah.
You don't have to play it for everybody. We'll all just mingle. We can just mingle.
Well, mingling.
Go.
Yes.
Gather around the organ like they used to.
Yeah, gather around for a quick lesson.
I forgot to mention, if you're not a student here or a teacher, and there's a suggested $20 donation. It helps us put on these events. There's Venmo on here and cash.
Oh,
here.
please.